Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at the energy around the new moon in Scorpio via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come in. So let's get into this. Really happy to be here. It kind of took a lot for me to get here tonight, so I always appreciate you being flexible. I'm not the most tech savvy person, so I've had like a lot of issues lately with my videos, but I do really appreciate you guys just like being patient and, you know, just kind of as I tweak things on my end. So we're recording this for the new moon in Scorpio, which is going to be tonight, tomorrow morning, wee hours of the morning, depending on where you're located. And then we're about to move into Sagittarius season. So we're getting this new moon in Scorpio at the tail end of Scorpio season. And as we progress through the signs, we're kind of like learning different aspects about whatever energy they govern, etc. We're kind of like learning how to connect with those energies within ourselves as we progress, so that by the time we hit the next sign, we're able to kind of like launch into that new energy. And Scorpio energy is a lot about connecting with our desires. And sometimes it kind of is our deeper, darker desires, because Pluto governs Scorpio. It's ruled by Lord Pluto, Lord of the Underworld, I should say, which is talking about our shadow self. So those places that we might not be as, you know, show everyone in our life or be readily apparent. It doesn't all have to be like low vibey stuff, you know. I mean, obviously we all have credits and deficits. So hopefully it's not too scandalous, you know, but it is really just this value. Hey, good evening, Bloomer Nana. So happy to have you here. Hope you're having a great night. I always appreciate the love and support. Thank you so much. So, you know, so to me, what I'm trying to get at is Scorpio season really helps us connect with those inner desires, things we might not be sharing with ourselves, so to speak, things we might not be honest with ourselves about, or we keep hidden away, etc. And as we connect with those, Sagittarius season really helps us launch into new manifestations. It's all about growth and expansion, etc. So long-winded way to get here, but this new moon is like, we've been talking a lot about at this channel how valuable awareness is right now. Awareness of the dynamics, what you want, how you think, how you feel, especially around situations where you don't have a lot of clarity or don't have a lot of insight. This new moon specifically is asking us to be open and flexible with change. And that might be a little difficult. We'll talk about why. I'm going to start off with an energy cleansing. I'll kind of like table the information right now. I'm going to start off with an energy cleansing just so we can get into the messages. Cleanse out any of the negativity we've been feeling, any blocks, obstacles we might be running into, places where maybe we just need a little extra TLC, you know, or it's a great time to just release, you know, and let go, do a few deep breaths, do some pranayama. It's a good time to set your own intention as well for being, especially because we're live. Spirit loves to speak to us in all different ways. So if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, that you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around, definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It really is a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. So if you want me to look at your personal situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are just looking for more of a rebalance of self, your alignment of mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. when we feel strong, grounded in ourselves, that's really where we can tap into that awareness. That's where we can find clarity, answers around situations, people, dynamics in our life that, maybe need some changes or a little extra attention so that we can actually honor ourselves a little bit more through the process. And I would love to help support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. Amen. All right, so this is a really interesting new moon. We currently have 5 planets in retrograde, which only happens 4% of the time. So interesting, right? It's a rarity. I'm hearing things are unraveling. Things are falling apart, but things are falling apart in a way that I'm hearing is like opening to more truth, opening to more justice. Obviously, depending what side of the coin you might be on will kind of just like dictate what kind of news information this new moon is going to bring in. Because even though there's a lot in retrograde, even though there's a lot going on astrologically, hey, Serendipitous, so excited to see you. Thanks for joining and, supporting always. So I so appreciate you. So as much as like we do have a lot going on astrologically, we have more positive influences. There's tension, there's challenges for sure. And where I'm seeing the most tension is Uranus. Uranus is opposite of the new moon. And Uranus is a little bit stubborn right now. It's in Taurus. It doesn't want to deal, or it doesn't want to do things differently, or it doesn't want to be open and flexible. So be really cognizant of that within yourself over these next few days. Places where maybe you might be a little rigid or holding on to control for no other reason outside of control, right? Like there are always things that we can bend and be a little bit more flexible on. I'm not saying to be a doormat. That's not what this is about. What I'm talking about is being open to new ideas, new ways of doing things, new information coming in that completely changes your perspective. So being reminded of something, we've been having past energies pop up a lot. This is definitely heavily influenced by all the retrogrades we have going on. Mercury is going to be in retrograde through the end of the month. It goes direct right before the month ends. And I believe Neptune also goes direct this month. So we're going to be still dealing with that. Retrograde basically means is it's slowing things down. It's slowing things down and it's bringing up issues that maybe we are not dealing with, i.e. this overarching energy of memory. It can be easy to sweep things under the rug or turn a blind eye, or maybe there's nothing else you can do about it, right? Like maybe you kind of just feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and so you might just be leaving something alone. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. You're going to know what's best for your situation. But also remember that if something does come in to kind of change the dynamics, change the energy, to be willing, to be open. Ooh, I like this. We've been getting this initiation card a lot as well. So being willing, open to being flexible, right? Like I have said probably a bajillion times at this point, but I love this vibe of initiation because I am picking up a lot of closure, a lot of cycle endings. We're seeing this. Maybe it's steadily unfolding. Maybe a lot of the closure's not happening overnight. There's remnants, there's pieces of the pie we're still trying to pick up, etc. But what I feel is that there is this, it's not as much like where I feel like maybe even just like 6, 8, 10 months ago, we were a little bit more stuck in past energy. It feels like we've moved beyond that a little bit. It feels like we're actually at a place where the doors are starting to open. And ironically or not, this new moon, i.e. Scorpio, are connecting with our desires. It's really highlighting the work that we've put in, right? Like whether or not the fruits of our labor, what kind of fruit they're going to bear is what I should say. So it does kind of look like some things are going to be coming up that we'll see. Good, bad, right, or wrong, I don't know quite yet. It feels like stuff of the past. It feels a little bit messy, like maybe these are some things that you've kind of let lie, is what I'm hearing. And messy because you haven't thought about it in a while, right? It's when you kind of just put something on the back burner and then it pops up again and you're like, oh yeah, I remember how that feels or what this made me think or whatever. It's a good thing. Especially with this Arvaris, we got this. Well, actually, I think that was one of my problem readings. But this talks about greed. Something that is forcing their hand, but in a way out of manipulation, out of control, out of this desperate need to either be on top or be in control of the situation. This feels like past energy. I don't think this is something that you're dealing with. Unless you're in a situation where like you have completely cut off ties with the past. Sometimes spirit will kind of throw things our way to say like, okay, are you really done with that energy? It can be a different person, different situation, but it can be the complete same energy, right, that we're used to, that we kind of have to figure out. Like, is this actually serving me, right? And again, it's in this way to not be too stubborn. Uranus can think or feel or want to believe that it's in this place of like, it knows the right way to do it. You know, like we can just get a little bit stubborn. We can get a little bit caught in our ways. But I also feel like whatever you've been dealing with someone, something that isn't above board, because it hasn't worked out, because it's forced you to go down a different path, you've also been discovering pieces of magic along the way. Not to sound, all, rose petals and fairies and whatever, but it has this vibe of like, it's when we're forced to dig deep. It's when we can't rely on the things that have felt safe and comfortable. And we either have like only ourselves to figure out some difficult challenges with, difficult people. These types of people we can't always smell out because a lot of times they know how to manipulate to get what they want, right? But it's not as much about this energy. It is, and it's not. Eccentric is in our blocked energy. I'm going to clarify that. I'm going to clarify this Arvaris and then this eccentric real quick. I like it though, because I think even though there are some pieces from the past that are popping up that are challenging you, whether it's in physical form, someone coming out of the woodwork and saying something, or remembering a past memory, a past experience, etc. You're finding a way to overcome. You're finding a way to push through it. You're finding a way to connect with the magic. Even if you feel like during this time you get a little bit tripped up, it's not even as bad as maybe what it was before. Or again, I think a lot of it is because of the emotion that it's triggering. Scorpio is water season. We have a lot of planetary placements in water signs. Water sign is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Okay, so reflective. Well, and that's the other downside, unfortunately, or not, of retrogrades, is people do start to reflect. They do start to, shoulda, woulda, coulda. We've been picking up a lot of those vibes as well. And especially because retrogrades do slow things down. Things aren't manifesting as quickly. They're forcing us to think through things. Someone is, reevaluating their choices, reevaluating their options with you. Let's see how this shakes out, because like we were seeing, there are some past energies lingering around, and it does look like some of this is about making connection. Queen of Cups. It's something you're picking up. You might already be dealing with these energies. All right, let's see. Let's see what this new moon looks like for us. Okay, 10 of Cups. Someone's happy. There's good things around you. Again, this is part of this magic that you've been working really hard to cultivate. I feel like the magic is effortlessly happening as well. This is not something that you have to do, to make something happen. This is actually just via the work that you're doing on yourself, like the intention that you're setting every day to be a little bit stronger, a little bit better, etc. And I feel like that magic is naturally unfolding. 4 of Cups energy. So you're feeling like, I don't know, something about the way things are moving right now. It's not exciting. It's, I don't know, maybe there are some waiting games happening. Maybe we kind of picked this energy up. I feel like this was pretty recently, like around some past stuff that hasn't really ironed itself out quite yet. And so there is a little bit of despondence. 4 of Cups can be depression or just getting lost in a lot of emotion. Again, a very, very easy thing to do. And I feel like that's why Uranus is being extra stubborn. We also have a lot of tension with the new moon and the vertex point. The vertex point is what makes situations culminate. And the vertex point has been tensely aspected-ish lately. And I feel like there's just a lot of resistance. That's where this, the slower energy is coming through. That's why we keep seeing these past energies pop up. 3 of Swords, someone's really disappointed. Again, confirming this like reflective energy. Maybe you can pick up this person dynamic. Maybe you still have to deal with them. And that's where you're just a little bit over it, because I don't feel like you're depressed, but I feel like you're a little annoyed. I feel like you're tired of the emotions, but then you're also kind of indulging in the emotions a little bit, which again is easy to do because of all the water placements. But it's more important to you to be grounded within yourself, meaning to remain balanced. Even if you're feeling all these different things, it's hard to connect with people right now. People, situations that understand you. We just had Pluto move into Aquarius, age of Aquarius. So Aquarian energy is actually very eccentric, right? It's someone who's not afraid to march to the beat of their own drum. And usually people who are like very innovative, very creative, they kind of move outside of the box of society's norms. I think you have a lot of this within you, but you are like a little bit nervous or hesitant about revealing this. Maybe you do a little bit, right? This kind of goes back to what I was saying in the very beginning. Full circle moment. We love it over here. But I feel like it's in part, I'm picking up this energy, like it's partially connected to the past. Part of what you feel like is weighing you down with. Like, I'm almost feeling like maybe there's this energy that like you're getting a little bit too stuck in this. Not intentionally so, but what I would encourage you to do is like, when you catch yourself going down that thought pattern or whatever it is, to the best of your ability, to just try to be like, you know what? I don't really want to think about this today. Yes, this sucks. Yes, I wish this didn't happen this way or whatever. But at the same time, it's going to give you more stability to not continue to ruminate on whatever this past energy is. It feels like someone or something that you kind of keep feeding off of each other. There is a little bit of fixation energy. It's, and with Pluto moving into Aquarius, it's big change. Pluto governs decade-long cycles. It's going to be in Aquarius, I think, for like 22 or 23 more years. So what's going to be going on in your life for the next 23 years, right? And how are you making fearless changes in order to better align with, like, this is not about, like, I don't want to say eccentric in a weird way. I want to say eccentric in a beautiful way, in a unique way, in a way that, like, is you. It's your authenticity. It's your brand. It's what makes people naturally gravitate and drawn to you, right? And I think you are a little bit nervous about this. I feel like you do, and it might not even be just like you mentally staying stuck in the past. Like it looks like you might have some commitments to past people, past situations that is also keeping you a little bit, stuck there, so to speak. Let's look and see what else. Well, and that's the thing. Someone doesn't want to move, but I don't think that this is you. I feel like you're either picking it up or, like I said, it's like this continual energetic exchange with someone, something. Let's see what else we can talk about for this new moon. Messages, communication. We've been getting a lot of those energies lately. Staying balanced, remaining balanced, temperance energy. We're not going to like everything that comes our way right now. Again, and that's why it's so important to be aware and clear about what those desires are. You don't have to have your next 10 years planned out, but to have a general awareness of how you want your life to go in that time space, whether it's I want to be in love or I want to be successful or make money. Hey, thank you. Happy new moon to you as well, Serendipitous. Sorry, I'm such a nerd, but thank you for all the love. I really appreciate you. So that's, like I was saying, like that's why it's so important to kind of like connect or understand those desires. And like I said, when we have those general awarenesses about where we want to be, what are those things that add value that like really we want to call in? This is the time to do it, especially because we are moving into Sagittarius season. And the difficult thing about temperance is it's like we know where we want to be, but we have to be very aware of what our present circumstances are. And that is the number one key to manifestation, right? Like we can think until we're blue in the face, I really want this thing, but there's like action behind it. There's the realistic component, that earth energy where we have to say like, yeah, if I'm only making like whatever, I don't want to put any specifics on it, but it's like this value of just like, again, awareness. Awareness is key. And I think it's not about like trying to be gentle with yourself, also not taking things personally is what I'm hearing. And that's where some of this temperance lover's energy comes into play, because whatever this energy is, let's pull on it a little bit. It could be someone who's trying to trip you up, or that's just how they are. Thank you. I appreciate it. No worries. You can always pause and come back. I appreciate that you're here, though, always. It's always fun to have peeps to chat with. Sorry, I feel like such a dork sometimes. All right, let's see this energy. Okay. Oop, King of Wands, not surprised. He's been coming out for us as well. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They don't have to be that sign. We also have the King of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You could be dealing with a couple different people that are kind of like Ace of Wands. A couple different, well, and this makes a lot of sense. Let me just clarify who these people are to you. These guys have been coming up a lot, though, in our readings. Ace of Wands is that burst of creation, right? Creative energy, pure potential. And that's, you know, like, again, and I'm not trying to be overly redundant, but, like, I feel this point a lot where it's like we have some past energy lingering, we have some new energy coming in, and it's like, what are our next steps going to be? You know, and this could be about business, or this could just be about your own success, about finances. I feel like someone wanting to bring you in an offer, thinking that actually you're like a really good addition, like you're needed. Like whether, especially if this is someone who's like seeking you out to help them out of a bind. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying in the very beginning. It's like two different energies, right? It's things that you're trying to walk away from. It's energies that you've worked really hard to kind of learn and grow and rise above. And then there's new energies coming in as well. And this is all about teamwork, right? Like who is going to be working with you? And when we have that awareness, like I said, I'm going to close this out in a minute right here. When we have that awareness, it makes the decision making like just that much easier, right? Eight of Cups, walking away from the toxicity. There's a lot of change. We get the Death card. We got Three of Pentacles, the Death card, and then we got Eight of Cups. So it's through the choices that you're making over this new moon season, it's very pivotal to how things are going to be moving forward. As I'm saying that, the train horn is going off in the background, confirmation from Spirit. We have to be willing to let go, right? Like Eight of Cups does signify toxicity. And sometimes it's easier said than done to walk away from those dynamics. Because either it's this belief that we can save it, or that we can heal it, or the person's going to change, or whatever it may be. Mars is a little anti-healing right now. Mars has also been very impatient. Mars is also going into retrograde next month. So it's being at peace with a slow pace, which I feel like is kind of nice for the holidays, personally. Put the BS aside, unless you have to deal with the BS on the holidays. It's like a totally different ball game, but we can look at that. I'll try to remember to do a reading around that, you know, but just put it aside and enjoy what's going on, the good that's working out for you, the alchemist. That's what we forget, right? Like, especially if you are really setting some strong intentions and intentionally working day in and day out, making sure that you are remaining balanced, making sure that it's, you know, okay, I like this. The Alchemist, it says balance, invention, and destruction. So I'm hearing some of this old stuff, past energy, whether it's a past person or it's just energies reminiscent of the past. This is what we're completely closing out with the Death card, Eight of Cups. It's what needs to be destroyed so that we can rebuild. And I think you've gotten a lot of this under your belt, but there still is this lingering, right? Like whatever this Four of Cups is, Whether it's this fear that you're never getting away, or that it's never going to end, or you're never going to get what you want. It feels like a lot of absolutes, right? That really don't exist. Like, you might be selling yourself, like, again, it's always going to be this way, or whatever. It's never going to happen, that type of vibe. And remember, like, we do need to dismantle whatever is not working. And even when we think about habits, patterns, learned experiences, they're so wired into our brain. It's insane, right? Thankfully, neuroplasticity is a beautiful thing that reminds us we can rewire those pathways. They're not set in stone. And again, why it's important to connect with your desires this new moon season. The wise one, be smart, right? Be smart. You know, it's so easy to fall down the K-hole of why didn't it go this way, or I wish, or it should be, or shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Where there is a certain order and tradition to follow, but it's also what grows your strength, your intelligence, your wisdom, your fortitude, what makes you who you are, right? Going back to that value of your uniqueness. And it also gives you the capacity to be fearless. Perhaps the way that people, situations were pushing you down in the past made it really hard. Like, we're really moving out of, breaking free. That's what I was looking for. We're breaking free of limiting energy. And we just have to understand who and what that limiting energy is coming from. This guy, right? Whether they're cognizant of it or not, whether they understand it or not. I don't feel like this is someone who's very self-aware. But that's where your awareness is going to get you further, where you want to go, etc. The Archer, I love this. Biding your time, planning ahead. Sorry. I know it's a little bit of an annoying message, right? I mean, I'm saying that because I'm impatient. Like, I'm like ready for the next thing. I'm totally in that Mars vibe. No, because, you know, it can get us into trouble if we move too quickly. Not that things can't be altered or changed, but I guess maybe what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't want you to have to suffer any more headache than what you have to, right? And we've all been going through so much lately that it's like, it's just really important to put ourselves first, our health, our well-being. I'm a huge proponent of, you know, making sure that you're investing in your health, wellness practices, taking care of yourself, doing some breath work, eating well, exercising, yoga, meditation, all those things that like calm and restore our mind, our body, our soul. That is really giving us the strong framework so we can navigate, some of these harder things, some of these things that might feel defeating or overwhelming or like it's never gonna end, right? But things are moving, and that's where it's important to continue to keep that bird's eye perspective, continue to keep planning ahead, be smart with the plans that you're making step by step. You know, I like this energy. I think it's going to be good tomorrow. I'm excited to hear. Definitely drop comments. I would love to hear what's going on, whether this resonates or not. I hope you found messages that resonated here for you. I super appreciate you, all the love, all the support to the channel. Just know it blesses my heart. It's one of my favorite things that is in my life. So I really appreciate you supporting, you know, that joy for me. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a fabulous new moon in Scorpio. Know I'm thinking of you, sending all the love and blessings your way. Have a fabulous evening.